Hi, I'm Video Craig. Welcome to the Video Craig podcast. My guest this week is Mick Terrrill. Mick, welcome, mate.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Struggling on.
Very, very nice to have you here. So, according to somebody online, we're best of friends already, according to DECCA. But this is actually the first time we've met, isn't it?
I can't confirm this is the first time I've met you.
First of all, let's talk about, you've got a show coming up called Straightener.
Yep.
Tell me all about that.
You know what it is? I've been in the fight game a long time, and I've started refereeing fights as well. And you know, when you go to a fight, I want to see two people have a fight. And I'm starting to see a lot of people, taking dives or... there was a last fight, Andy Nunn. I've known him a lot of years.
Right.
But he definitely got punched in the leg.
That rings a bell, that Andy Nunn, that
from
name.
Concert Way.
Right, yeah.
Is he? I think he's up that end. Now he's got punched in the leg, he's rolling around the floor, holding his face,
Right.
And I was thinking, yes, you little fucker, get up, you know what I mean? People are watching you have a fight. When you're paying 30, 40 quid to watch a fight, I want to see a fight.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Andy's a canny kid, but he's lost a lot of fights. But then you see other kids, they're meant to be having a fight and they're just falling over. It does me head in. So I thought, if I just get two people who really don't like each other, get a fight, you may get one that gets knocked out straight away, but they actually hate each other. So they're actually going to have a fight,
So the event's called Straightener, isn't it?
Straightener, aye.
What's the date and the venue?
Well, we're hoping to get the 8th, but we're pals getting married.
Right.
So it might get moved to the 29th.
Right.
That'll be the Dome in Walker.
All right. And have you got many fights lined up for the card already?
I think I've got about 9 or 10 fights. That's the other thing as well. I don't want, I'm reffing the show next week. I think 2 or 3 weeks. 50 fights on.
Yeah.
50 fights, it's a lot of fights on. I think you want to have 50
Where's
fights.
Where's that event on it with 50
it's
fights?
At the Dome.
Is
Dome
it?
as well, aye, but it's all day,
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm the ref, so I'm there all day.
Just the one ref?
No, it's two. Me
Oh,
and Paul
right.
Tuna.
Oh, it's only 25 fights.
It's
It's still ridiculous.
But you want 15 fights now on the lash. You know what I mean?
Have you seen DECCA Heggie's bare knuckle street fighting brawls?
I haven't.
Right. Well, I'm going to show you a fight that he's charging money for.
Right.
And I'd like your expert opinion on it.
All right.
Now, according to him, this is a barnstormer that's worth paying for. So, do you know anything about his street fighting brawls?
No.
Right, okay. So what's happening is he's decided that he's going to start his own bare knuckle company. But it's bare knuckle with a difference. It's Queensberry rules, but you're allowed to fight, his words, you're allowed to fight in the grapple. I think he means clinch.
Yep.
And you're allowed to use your head.
So it's not Queensberry.
So it's nothing remotely like Queensberry rules. You're also not allowed to wear any form of wraps on your hands.
So you
Because you don't need to support your wrists. That's just bullshit.
Eh?
This is his first pay-per-view. And then to top things off, he thought, what's the best place we can hold a fight? Scrapyard. So this, of this quality, this is, he's charging for this.
Do you know what it's like? Can remember bum fights?
Yeah. Bum fights were probably a bit better.
Can we bottle the umbrella?
So this guy's here for a scrap. This guy thinks he's doing the 100 metres, the guy on the left.
Oh, go flat-footed down, eh? What the dog's there as well?
And well, I was trying to think of a more unsafe place to have a fight, right, than a scrapyard, and the only thing I could come up with was maybe he's on top of a bridge.
To be fair, the kid in the grey top and have a bit of a go. He's just a little bit out of shape, isn't he?
Well, this other kid, now he's been down once, he doesn't want to know, as you'll soon see.
He looks more in shape though, doesn't he? He's jumping into his shots and he's getting caught flat-footed. Oh, he's off. The call's alright though.
Aye, the cause alright. I mean, on one of the fights, because he says you get 20 seconds, on one of the fights, we timed one of the 20 seconds and it was 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Minute and 8.
One of the other fights, one of the kids is being sick during the fight, and DECCA's like, do you want to carry on?
Who's putting them sound effects in? Is that you or them?
No, them.
Them.
Yeah, the sound effects are like 10 times louder than... Oh. The dog's out the way.
Off, aye, dog's off. Imagine if the dog turned on them though.
Well, that's it. I mean, with it being a scrapyard, I'd imagine it's some form of guard dog as well.
It's funny, years ago I had a fight with a few kids in there, Howden.
Aye.
And as I was bashing one, they set the dog on us.
There, look, he's off now. He's running away.
And the dog actually attacked its owner.
Aye.
Aye, so them set the dog on me. It was an American pit bull thing, you know. And then he was, as I'm pitting the kid's sort of slumped down, and the dog's actually attacking its owner. So I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, oh. So I went to get up, and there was another kid trying to hit us with a bit of wood. He's away, him, and he.
I also don't get the whole fighting with a t-shirt or sweatshirt on when you're allowed to grab a hold of each other. Oh, he's off again.
Doesn't want to know though, does he?
No.
What's he talking him into continuing?
Probably.
He's not actually taking much punishment.
He's off
though.
again.
You know what I mean? Because he keeps saying, turn away. Is Decca coaching him there?
Decca's meant to be the ref.
He's coaching
and he's
him
like,
on.
you can use your nuts.
Sure, he's meant to be impartial, isn't he? He needs to stop him. And the forklift.
Aye.
I mean, the concept, you know, like if you put it in a ring, in a scrapyard, it would look alright.
They've started doing that on the last event. They put some hay bales down, which stopped them from running away as much.
Taking him in the back of the head there, like.
In one of the fights, Decca shouts, remember you can use your head, and the lad must hear him, and he nuts the other kid, but the other kid puts his head down. And then 30 seconds later, the kid's being sick, and I was like, he's got a concussion, him.
Use the head as well, guys.
Joey, come on.
What's he doing, getting a drink in the middle?
Is it still going on, or what? Aye. There's no rounds, and it's just as one man gives up.
No rounds, he's just letting him have a drink. I don't get this, so because he's not fighting back, and he keeps falling over, so...
Yeah, he's not really getting hit, is he?
No, he's not getting hurt, he's just falling over.
It's more like a game of fucking tuggy, innit?
Proper fighting, man. Oh, he's got a limp now.
Are they fighting on again? Fucking hell.
Oh. It's been down about 20 times.
Good fight, boys.
Good fight.
What's your expert opinion on that, then?
That wasn't a good fight at all. That was a one-way beating where he should have been stopped. Maybe he's on the third down.
What was your interactions with DECCA HEGGIE, then?
I've never had any, really.
Really?
No, I had getting a message saying, well, he read it, didn't he, on the thingy,
Aye.
saying he was wanting to have a fight with us.
He'd be good to go in April or something, was it?
Something like that, and he had a little gun at Danny. And then, of course, I looked and I thought, you cheeky bastard. You know what I mean? I've just had me fight. You know, you're out, I was out on the drink, and then you're giving us that, you know, so I thought, Nibble, I will fight you. I'll smash your head in.
So you offered him it. He asked for a lot of money, didn't he, originally?
Originally, the way it goes on, you know, I would think he'd had money, you know, like how he was making so much money off YouTube. So I says, well, I'll put 10 in, you put 10 in. And I thought, it's easy, 10 grand, really, I'll take his money straight off him.
Aye.
And then he refused it and says he didn't have any money. And then, you know, when I was looking at the YouTube, I'm thinking, he's got any teeth.
Aye.
He probably hasn't got any money, you know. So I thought...
Do you know the story behind the teeth?
Something to do with a dentist. I heard he was chatting up the birds.
I don't know, the birds on Instagram, and they fucked him off halfway through the procedure.
Aye.
Can't blame them, can you?
You know what I mean? That doesn't change his spots,
Nah.
does he? You know what I mean? But anyways, we've got the straightener show on. And I says, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 5 grand if you fight us on the straightener show. And I'll give you an extra 2 grand if you can beat us.
I think that 2 grand was safe, wasn't it?
I think it was a safe bet, aye. And anyways, we've got a mutual friend, Cole Bennett.
Yep.
And I used to work on the door with Cole years ago.
Right.
And Cole's not a bad boxer, I sell. So Cole had getting in touch with us and he says, Decca's all right. And I says, I don't think he is. So anyways, we're talking on and he goes, I'll try and get the fight sorted out. He says, I'll get it so it's free.
Right.
It'll have to be somewhere. I went, no problem. And then later that night, I think I seen you put a video on. You saying you wanted 10 grand.
Yeah.
So by then I'm already all in. You know what I mean? If I knock the 10 grand back, I'm going to look like I've bottled it. So I says, Nibal, I'll give you 10 grand. But I didn't think, you know, like by then I thought he's looking for ways out, you know. But
Yeah.
So I'll give you the 10 grand. And then I phoned Cole Bennett up. I says, greedy bastard. I says, he's asking for 10 grand now. He says, I thought you said he was going to fight for out. So Cole went, oh, it's making me look stupid this. So Cole's phoned him up. And he went, right, definitely I'll get it sorted out. So phoned us back. He went, he says, you'll fight for free, disclose location sometime in May. I went, no problem. And then I still get messages off Cole saying, Decca says it's all right if he can have a word with you. And I went, well, he went, can he have your number? I went, no, definitely not. I went, why do I want to speak to someone that I don't really like and I want to bash? I don't want to talk to him. What's he going to say? Like, oh, Mick, I really like you. You know what I mean?
Can we be friends, Mick?
I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to chin you. Well, that was that.
So is it not happening at all now?
No, it's May.
It is still scheduled?
He hasn't actually says he's not going to do it.
Because a lot of people ask him on his chat quite, they're like, when are you going to fight MICK TERRILL? And he just blanks the question. A lot of the time, he'll just block the person that's asked it.
Well, I mean, I'm about 125 kilos at the minute. So
right.
Training's going to start up and now because it's middle of May. So up the training, drop the cakes. And hopefully I'll be about maybe 118 kilos by the time I fight him. But if Decca's watching, I've seen a lot of holes in your game, Decca. Loads of holes. And I've got a nice little fist that's just going to jump straight in and hit you.
Straight through them holes.
Aye.
So then, how old were you the first time you had a fight?
24.
24. Street fight?
No. Oh, that was street fight. I've had a few street fights. No, in the ring, I was 24.
What was that? Was that boxing, kickboxing?
Thai boxing.
Thai boxing.
It was Barry Norman's. I first went in at 23.
Right.
I think I was about 16 and a half, 17 stone.
It's quite late to start that, isn't it?
I played football before then.
Right.
I just played football, I think, like most kids. And then Barry says he wanted us at 13 stone. So I had a year to get from 16 and a half down to 13.
Right. What's your natural weight, so, like normally?
19, 20 stone.
Yeah?
Aye.
All right. Quite a way down to 13.
Back then, I
suppose
was young. I was maybe 16, 16 and a half stone maybe.
So talk me through your career from there, because you became a world champion, didn't you?
Well, I started at Barry's, and if anybody knows Barry's Tonical Gym, it's very humbling.
Right.
You go in, and you see loads of them, they've got big attitudes, dormant, full of muscles, and then you go in, you get filled in off a 12 stone one. You know what I mean? And you really get filled in as well. You get your legs dead, your ribs up bruised, everything, you know. So it's a humbling experience. So you either go away from it and think, I'm not going back there, or you think, I'll get him back later, which is what I've done. Yeah. And I just kept going and getting filled in and beat up, and it took us about a year before I stopped being able to beat people up myself, you know. But it's very humbling.
Very humbling. I've got a friend, John, he speaks very highly of you from AFC.
John Akin, he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, I was out with him on Saturday night, and he was saying you're a lovely guy and a man not to be messed with on the in the ring.
I like hitting people. Like I say, I started with Barry. I think I had about 8 or 9 years with Barry. Obviously went up. I was winning Northern Area titles, English, British, and then I don't know, the career sort of hit a standstill, you know, and I wanted to go further. And I felt I wasn't going further. And I left and I went to East Coast MMA. Right. My pal called Leon, I used to work with him on the door. And he started a gym in Whitley Bay. Right. And then I fought a kid called Romy, and I swear I was going to wrap in after this fight. And I watched this Romy De Silva, he's called. And I looked at him, I thought, I'll beat him. It's an easy win. And I don't know if I just took my foot off the pedal, you know, and I thought I was an easy win. But anyways, I was beating him. And then he tore me IT band in my leg halfway through the fight. And he beat us. And I think that's what gives us a little kick up the arse there. Yeah. So I fought him again twice and beat him twice. And then I was lucky, I ended up going on to Super Combat
Right.
on the kickboxing K1 side. I was hit and miss on there. I'd done all right. I won more than I lost. Kept losing in the finals. That was the problem, getting right the final and then losing. And then I was struggling getting kickboxing fights locally or in England. And because I was fighting around Europe at the time. And then I just started unlicensed boxing.
Right.
I went amateur. I got the ABA regional finals. And then I started more on the unlicensed boxing. And then just by chance, I got a message off Dave Wheel. I don't know if you know him.
No.
He used to have NE6 suite.
No.
Dave Wheel texts us and he goes, a lad called Cowboys Michael Quinn. His opponent's dropped out.
Right.
Would you step in? And the year before, I'd shot at my thumb in 4 bits. I'd fought John Lewis. And he's got a big head, John. And when I hit him and dropped him, my thumb broke then. That bone shattered into 3 bits.
Right.
So obviously I got that repaired and it took a year. And so I hadn't trained for a year. And then he says, it's a week's time. I went, I go and I'll have it. So that ended up being I seen Knuckle, the promotion.
Yes.
He's a relative of them. Anyways, I beat him. He dropped us the first round. Can't remember the fight. I must have just been on autopilot. And I woke up and attacked him, Willie Baird later on. And but I'd won. So that was, and my wife took half my money off us. She says I give her it.
So then what happened from there?
From there I went to BKB. I was chasing down a fight one and I wasn't getting it. And anyways, on the I was ending up fighting for the world title.
Right.
And I defended that 3 times. And then I wrapped in. And I got fat as you could be. Really, I think I was about 22 stone.
Right.
I was 21 and a half stone, and I was chunky. And a kid called Mozzie phones us up. Would you fight? Again, I went, no. I'll tell you what, I think it was about a week before Christmas. He went, if I can get you fights in America, would you fight? Mm-hmm. I went, what's the money like? And the money was good, it was a lot better than what I was getting. So twisted me arm a little bit, and I said, no problem. I was back in the BKFC.
Now you're looking to fight for the world title again?
I was hoping to get Arnold. He beat us, didn't he, on my first fight back. And Arnold's just been beat off Belcher.
Right.
So I'm not sure if they're going to have a rematch or not, but I'm just going to sit out and wait.
Any idea on a time frame then?
Any idea? Like I say, when you have these bare knuckle fights, especially at the higher level, you get injured and hurt.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know.
But yes,
Belcher,
I saw the state of Panda after your last fight.
Aye, I mean, really, Panda looked really bad, but it was just stitches. So
was it?
Aye. So Panda probably would have healed. Maybe it's about 10 weeks, 12 weeks.
Right.
But I don't know if I've seen Belcher's eye went funny. I don't know if he detached the retina or.
Right.
So I'm just waiting to hear what's happening with Belcher. But he might have the rematch with Arnold yet.
Tell me a little bit about where you grew up and how you grew up. And
I was born in Meadowell.
Right.
And then we moved out to Shermoor. I think we were moving all the families out at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we moved to a place in Shermoor. It was just a little pit village at the time. I think it's only not far away from
it's
here.
not far walking distance from here.
So went to Shermoor and I grew up there. And it was quiet, just quiet, normal life.
What were you like at school?
Quiet. Quiet.
A fighter at school or?
No,
Not
just tiny little. I was 5'4". I was about 15 or 16.
All right.
And then had an operation on me ear. So I went to sixth form. And because I'm deaf in that ear. And
I'm definitely right here as well.
They took all the bits and bobs out of my ear when I was 2. I think I had a mastoid infection turned into a tumour. So I had all the inside my ear taken out. When I was 16, they tried to give us a eardrum back.
Right.
So I went back to sixth form later than the rest. By the time I went back, I was like 6'3". So over the 6 weeks holidays and maybe 8 weeks,
Aye.
and the up, I grew a foot.
What did you do, like work-wise after that?
When I was younger,
Yeah.
I'd done everything. When I was at school, I was a milkman, paper lad. I think I had 4 paper rounds at one point at the same time.
Jesus.
Window cleaner, just anything to make money. And then started being an electrician.
Is that your trade still now, is it?
At the minute, I'm a security manager.
Right.
I work in just liaise between like sites and the lads doing the work.
Yeah.
And if they're a bit short-handed, I'll get me gear on and help as well. Just putting cameras and stuff in.
What's the hardest fight you've ever had?
It's hard to say that because there's 3 different, like Thai boxing.
Yeah. Well, let's go through all 3.
Thai boxing. trying to have a think, it was early on. Fought a couple of tough kids. McCaskill was quite tough from Middlesbrough.
Right.
I think he was called Jonathan McCaskill. He was a tough lad. Kickboxing, I had Arnold Boratov. I mean, I shouldn't have done that fight. That was stupid. At the time, I was cruiserweight, so I was 13.5 stone.
Yep.
At the time, I was walking around like that. I looked like Freddie Mercury when he was dying of AIDS. And he was then Europe's number one.
Right.
But he was like 6'5", 6'6". And he would have been like 100, 110 kilos.
Is this the kid that kissed you in the face-off? No?
That was Ryan Zornock, he was called. Scotland.
I've heard that story before.
I wasn't very pleased with that one. You know what it is? We ended up being pals after, but he gives a wet kiss on my face.
Twice as insulting as a slap in it.
But you know what it is? You stand in the face-off, right? And it's a funny thing. I don't know why they do these face-offs. You're standing there in your underpants.
Yeah, I've said that. I've heard a lot of times. I mean, I've never had a fight in my life, mate, but I've heard a lot of times that it's to try and sense a weakness in your opponent's eyes and whatnot. And it's like, you know, you've just weighed in. You're at the weakest you could ever be at that point.
Well, I'm too laid back, so like I never lose my temper. So I'll just stand there and do what they want to me. I'm quite blasé. And we're standing face to face, and he just wet kissed us on my face. And so I was livid, you know. So there was a table full of cakes. You know, for the press conference and stuff like that, and I was starving, you know. So I just started eating loads of cakes, and I was going. I think I took James Cannon and Chris Bowman up with us. I was like, I want to kill that bastard. He's just kissed us on the face. Anyways, I stopped him in the second round. I think I dropped him in the first, stopped him in the second.
So back to the night when you were looking like Freddie Mercury with AIDS, and
it wasn't a good look for us.
What was that, 13.5 you came down to?
At once I fought a 12-8.
Yeah.
And it was a funny one, that one. I don't even know who I fought. It was in Ayr in Scotland.
Right.
And back in the day, there was no day before weigh-ins like there is now.
Right.
You got weighed in on the day. And it was a daytime show, so I had to drive up to Ayr. And I got weighed in. I was 12 stone 10. And it was my first 5-round fight, full Thai rules.
Yeah.
And I weighed in at 12 o'clock. And they says, you're fighting at 1. So I didn't even have a chance to get it. And I hadn't ate for 2 days. So I didn't get a chance to get anything to eat because I would have gotten a stitch. And I remember, I think it was end of the second round, we're fighting and the ref said, stop. So as we've stopped, I've put my hands down.
Yep.
And honestly, it was a good 2.5 seconds, which is a long time. And then he left hooked us. So he's just hit us. And I remember I was that tired, you know, for like the weight cut. I just went, I didn't even get annoyed. Usually I'll be livid, you know, but he hit us and I just went, oh, well. And anyways, I beat him. I can't even remember who that lad was.
BKFC, hardest fight?
It had to be Arnold.
Yeah.
He's slick. He's really slick, moves well, punches hard. Don't like ever making excuses, but I wasn't well, you know. And the shot that done us, it didn't even hit us on the chin. Sort of hit us here. I was just that fatigued at the time, you know. I just went down. I was devastated because the week before, I was having like 10, 12 shot combos. And then I was in bed for a week. I think I lost 2.5 stone of sweat. And just couldn't even really want to.
So anything you would do differently in the rematch?
I wouldn't get ill. Everything was going great, honestly. Everything was sound, you know. Like, but it was funny, you know, we were in Mexico and I forget what the hotel was, but it stunk. It smelled like sewage. And we're in the pool and we didn't know what it was, you know, like we just got ill. And I woke up in the morning, I was ill, and my pal Bungle, he was on the other side of the bed. He had his own bed down the other end of the room. Mozzie was on the bed next to us. And I just felt shit, you know. And I looked at Bungle, I went, oh, I'm ill. And he went, what? I mean, we've got this thing in the gym, we've got no compassion for anyone. So I looked at him, I went, Andy, I'm not well, to Bungle. And he went, soft cunt. And I couldn't even argue because if he was ill,
you'd have said the same thing.
I would have said exactly the same. We've got a term in the gym, if you know, if you're like hurt, injured, we call it softitis.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what, you could have your fingers being chopped off again, softitis. That's all we ever say. That's everything. That's the cure of everything. So I remember I was lying in bed and he's went out, and I love eating. And that day I had nothing to eat. And Bungle's come back the next morning. He's woke up and I could tell by his eyes he was ill. And I looked at him, I went, you all right? And he went, nah. I went, you got it? And he went, I went, soft cunt. But for about, I would say 6 days, we're bedridden. Just couldn't get out of bed.
So where do you think the BKFC is going in terms of a promotion? Do you think it'll ever be as big as the UFC or?
It's getting there. Do you know what it is? So I don't know if you've noticed as well, MMA.
Yeah.
I think it's dying off.
Yeah. I think it's oversaturated now.
Yep.
When UFC first came out, it was exciting. You know what I mean?
When I was out on Bravo.
It'd be like, well, it felt like it was every few months at one point, you know what I mean? An event would be a big thing. I'd get together with all my mates and watch it. Now I think there's an event on somewhere every week.
It is.
In terms of UFC.
The only place there isn't is local, yeah. I mean, how many MMA events do you see? I know 2, 3 a year in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's dying off. I
don't think I've ever been to a local MMA event.
Back in the day, there was hundreds, man.
Yeah.
But now it's dying off.
I've been to a few where they have boxing bouts, they have some K1, they have some MMA, they have everything on the same day. But I'm just thinking, are they going to do 50 weigh-ins for these 50 fights?
David, you know what it is? It's a long day, isn't it? Just the weigh-ins.
It is.
Imagine if someone misses the weight and they've got to, you get an hour, don't you? So he's going to have slotted times, for the weigh-ins. You see a lot of fighters locally, you work, so you're trying to get the day off on the Friday for the weigh-in. Yeah. Just so you can eat. But 50 fights, I mean, half of them are kids, I think.
Right.
25 kids, then will probably weigh in on the day. But but the thing with the kids, you've got to make sure you weigh them in. Because if you've got a kid that's 2 kilos heavier than another one, and they're 10, that's like 20% of his body weight, You
refereed the original African, ASAP Alberto's fight, didn't you?
I did, aye.
How was that?
You know what it is? Morty's my pal.
Right.
Bungalow I was just on about.
Yeah.
It's his nephew.
Oh, okay.
So, but ASAP's canny as well. I like ASAP.
He sounds as fuck.
He's a mint kid.
I've never met Marty, but I know it's ASAP reasonably well.
He's a cushy kid, and
couldn't get a nicer kid, actually.
No. And we're watching him warm up, and it was funny because he had his groin guard over his shorts.
Right.
Which I thought was a bit peculiar. And I was looking at, and I thought he wasn't throwing with great technique, but he was quite quick. Mm-hmm. And anyways, he got in the ring, he just flipped, changed. And honestly, he was like a little ninja. He was just in and out, darting in and out. And I thought Morty was in trouble. Aye. And Morty had been training with Bungle. And I'm a referee, Morty's my pal, but my job's to be impartial. Mm-hmm. So your feelings towards anyone means nothing. Yeah. You've just got to do your job. And I'm watching him think, Morty, in trouble, yeah, And then he was getting told off Bungle, his uncle and Ryan off, don't just throw a head kick. You've got to set them up. Mm-hmm. And I can hear them shout, don't throw the head kick. And then he just threw it and knocked him out. And the wee fella thought he died. So I was like, shit. So I went running over, and I'm trying to think. The ref come over, and then you're starting. It's a horrible moment. You're standing there, and you're waiting. And then once he was all right, I was like, he's fine,
So do you referee much?
In the past, I was off and on, but I think as I'm getting older, I think more people are asking us now.
Yeah.
It's money for now, really. Front row seat.
So do you take much notice of this YouTube shenanigans that goes on, like the Danny Christie versus DECCA HEGGIE fights and stuff like that? Do you watch any of that, or?
Not really, no.
Have you not seen the DECCA Danny fight?
I've seen the fight just because obviously I've become friends with Danny.
Yeah. Danny's a really nice guy as well.
Yeah, he is, aye. And now the size difference between them was a massive weight difference.
Yeah, I think it was 14 stone and 18 stone or something.
I kept saying to Danny, you should have kept going there because DECCA wanted to give up. Mm-hmm. And he let him off, I thought. Let him off the hook.
Well, Dougie Joyce came out recently and said that because he showed fair play to that fight. And he said that he saved DECCA by insisting that they basically shake hands at the end.
You know what it is? I see a lot of these traveller fights. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand the crack, right? Because they have a fight and then you have the fair play man. And they keep saying, shake hands, shake hands. I'm thinking... No, man, let them knock each other out.
They've only been fighting for 20 seconds.
Shake hands, lads. He's a fit each other. I'm thinking, I know they're frightened they're going to lose their money. Oh. But, let them have the fight.
Do they have a lot of money? Do they on those fights? Is that what it is?
I think what they do is maybe put 10 grand in each or 20 grand in each, and they have, a lot of people from the site, chip in. Yeah. And then they double their money, put your money on your man. Aye. And then if they shake hands, the money goes back.
Right.
But then I think they would have put it because they've got to pay the fair play man.
Right. Because I've seen a few of them where, they'll do things like they'll shout shake hands after 20 seconds. And then other ones where one of them will bite the other kid and they'll be like, whoa, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. And then the fight on.
Aye.
It's like, well, surely to God, if you bite the kid, that's a disqualification, surely.
I think they'll let it off.
Or
once
otherwise,
or twice, aye.
otherwise, why not just do it? If you're not going to get disqualified for it, you know what I mean?
They do after one or two.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5 times. They might disqualify him. But like, if I turn up for a fight, I don't want to have a draw. It's worse than a loss.
Aye.
You know, if you ever see 2 fighters and they've had a draw, you see them going, you've trained for now. You haven't got to win or a loss. You've trained for absolutely nothing.
The only fighter I've ever seen look absolutely over the moon to have a draw was Deontay Wilder in the first Tyson Fury fight. When they announced it, his face went. And then like he tried to look annoyed afterwards, but his initial reaction was he was over the moon.
Out with the rematch at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting a lot of stick at the minute, isn't he, Tyson?
Yeah, for the Usyk thing. What's your thoughts on that?
I keep telling everyone this, Usyk's he's the standard.
Right.
Now, if you watch Usyk versus, what's he called? Not Usyk, not the standard man. Tyson Fury's just fought him. Chisora's the standard.
Right.
So Usyk fought Chisora. It was a close fight. Chisora gave him a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Joseph Parker. Chisora gave Parker a hard time.
Yep.
And then Parker's went on to fight AJ. That was a stalemate.
Right.
They didn't want to hit each other. And then Chisora's my age. He's over the hill, And then Tyson Fury's fought Chisora when Chisora was in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson was with 22, maybe 24.
Yep.
Chinned him again the second time, but this time went left-handed. So he's went southpaw and still chinned him. And then Fury's just given the hiding of his life.
Yeah.
So like, Chisora's the standard. He's given them hard fights.
Right.
And Fury's smashed them all over. And I know they say styles make fights.
Yeah.
But like, Chisora's the standard and Fury's just done him.
So, what's your opinion on Tyson Fury?
When he first come out, I didn't know how to take him.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And then,
He's very clumsy to begin with. He's awkward. What I would now call his awkward style looked very clumsy back then.
it was his cockiness. I wasn't sure on because he was a young kid. And then I watched him do some stand-up. And he was on about, I don't know if you've seen the fight where he fights Matt Swaby. And he punches himself.
I have seen the stand-up thing you're talking about. Where
and he says, I was that sick of not getting hit off a decent heavyweight. I've punched myself. And I thought, he's taking the piss in.
Aye.
He's just having a laugh. He's a young lad having a laugh. So I like him,
I mean, how many fights has he had? Is it 34 or something?
Not sure.
It's not that many. And I mean, when he's taking into consideration 3 of them are Chisora and 3 of them are Wilder, it's 2 opponents in 6 fights.
It is, but who's around?
I'd still like to see him fight Joshua, but not with Joshua coming off the back of 2 consecutive losses. Yeah. And I'd like to see him fight Usyk. That's about it, really.
Same fight.
There seem to be the 2 fights he doesn't want. Yeah, Ruiz would be good. Although then again, Ruiz is tiny though, isn't he?
6'3".
Is he?
Aye, Usyk 6'3".
I thought Ruiz was about 5'10". Could be completely wrong. Maybe just look like that next to Joshua.
6'3". I mean, Joshua's massive as well.
I mean, I've met Tyson Fury, and he's like an entire head and shoulders above me.
He's a big fella. Like, he's starting to use his weight, I think, a bit more when he's throwing his punches.
Yeah.
So he's dangerous, I wouldn't like to be punched of him.
Who do you like in the BKFC?
BKFC. I like watching Tyler Goodjohn.
Right.
I followed him when he was BKB. He's got great movement. What's he called? Lilly? James Lilly. He's really good. Mm-hmm. He's just beat Tyler actually in Wembley.
Right.
Or fought in Wembley. But he's like a little Calzaghe, just lots of shots, lots of movement. So they're good. Heavyweights, I think. I like that kid who just knocked out that. He was ex-UFC lad.
Right. I'm not too up to speed with BKFC. I watch the events that are in the UK. I'll watch them, but yeah. I don't. I'm not in the routine of watching it every week because they have a lot of events now as well.
Lots. I've got the app on my phone, so I just wake up the next morning and then scour through.
That'll be a perk of being a fighter, is it?
No, I had to pay for it. $50 a year.
Give them a subscription.
I'm poor,
It's just all I do is make a podcast once a month and take the piss out of DECCA.
I like taking the piss out of DECCA. I like that video.
Let's do that for a bit.
I like that video you sent us, like.
I'll put the clip in now, actually.
I don't know if anyone's heard of disassociation, but you totally go in trance. You're in a trance. Don't even realise anyone's around you. I was sitting with a knife to my neck like that, ready to slit my throat. And that was the first attempt. The second attempt, I was going to put a machete right through my stomach. I failed on that because somebody walked in, my friend. And then the third attempt, I ended up buying a bottle of vodka and a bottle of whiskey. And I biked all the way down to this bridge. And then I stood on top of this bridge and I was going to jump off it and jump like I was going to jump head first and commit suicide. And this farmer came. And this channel was actually first called The Epic Story of Tomorrow. It was based on my story where I was going to take my own life. And what happened was I was going to commit suicide and the farmer kind of talked me out of it. And he left. And just before I was about to jump off the bridge, the police came and parked the van right under the bridge, so I couldn't jump. So I jumped, but I landed on top of the van.
He's jumped off a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And
the police?
No, the farmer first.
Yeah,
it was the farmer. I was going to do it, and the farmer's talking him out of it. By then, the police have come under the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then the farmer's walked off after he's talked him out of it.
Yeah.
And he's decided to jump in anyways and land on top of the police van. So I'm guessing the bridge could only be the height of a van.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe it's 8 foot wide, the bridge. Because you could just take 6 steps in any one direction and jump off and miss the van, couldn't you?
So he's either purposely in for the van.
Yeah.
It's not a very tall bridge, or he's just talking shit.
Yeah. I think option C. I think he's just made the whole thing up, I mean, actually, just, you know what? If it wasn't for DECCA telling lies, I wouldn't have any material, because all that happens is he says something that makes him sound like an absolute fucking whopper, and I point it out. That's all I do. I don't make anything up. I don't do any research. I just watch his life and go, that's bollocks. Like, for example, you've just told me that he said he's got no money. 2 days ago, he was on live saying he's got 50 grand in the bank.
50 G's in the bank?
50 grand he wants to put up against Dougie Joyce. I mean, that'll never happen either. But looking at his life... Yes, looking at his lifestyle and whatnot, I don't think he's got any money. I mean, I know what YouTube makes. It doesn't make that much money, not at this level. No. It doesn't make enough for me to live off. Do you know what I mean? So
I mean, is he making... I mean, what... So I think, you know what it is? It was I got tagged in as a bloke called Tumble Dryer or something.
Humble Dryer, yeah.
Humble Dryer. He was having a go at us or something, trying to make out, and then trying to say I blocked him. I wouldn't even know how to block anyone.
Right.
But he was calling us because I says, right, I'll give you the 10 grand.
Yeah.
But by then I was all in. You know what I mean? If I say, I can't fight you now, Derek.
Humble Dryer said I can't, sorry.
No, but it makes us look stupid, you know, if I've asked him for a fight now, and then I say no. So then he was going, he was saying I was stupid and I fell into DECCA's game plan and then I've blocked him. And I'm thinking, if you're watching him, I've never ever blocked you, mate. I was only trying to fight DECCA, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully I'll still get that fight.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, I am desperate to chin him.
So you heard it here first, he says it's still on.
Well, I haven't heard anything different. Yeah. So,
I mean, actually, DECCA said this morning that he was going back into camp because he's going to start fighting again.
Hopefully it's me.
Aye.
I'm not only running bare knuckle street fighting brawls with the team, but I'm now back in training to fight again. I'm going to be fighting again. That's why I'm getting fit. Cardio, weights, explosive training, guys. The way to get fit for a fight is sparring and explosive training. Leave the 5-10 mile runs out. It's all about explosive training, guys. So listen, DECCA HEGGIE is coming back to make a bang. I'm coming back with a bang.
If you listen, Humble, it's now free. I'm not giving him any 10 grand.
So this straightener event, what are the fights that you've got lined up for that?
I'll have a look on my phone. I've got a few.
Because I've seen a few, you're tagging people in them on state. Well, I like the way you're doing it, actually, because you'll say, like, you'll tag somebody in it and you'll be like, such and such doesn't fucking like, and then tag the other person and go, he wants to fight on this show. Are you going to take the fight?
Well, the reason why I'm doing that,
it's great, isn't it? Because you've got to take it then, haven't you?
You've got to. It's in the open, right? And if I go, Joe Bloggs wants to have a fight with you and he doesn't like you and he says he's going to knock you.
Aye.
He's now going to go, shit, I'm going to have to take that fight. Or say, no, I don't want the fight and he's going to look like a coward. Because I'm not tagging people who, mainly the people I'm fighting are the people who've got a bit of a name for themselves, you know, where I live. Yeah. So, like, when I'm tagging the two people that they can have a go. Aye. They've just got to have a go to kill her, you know. It's already nothing little Dave out in the pub,
Aye.
you know, on the weekend, who kind of never had a fight in his life. But when you've got 2 kids who can actually have a go, get them in and have a
It
fight.
should make for a great event.
Aye,
And is that going to be at the Walker Dome, did you see?
I think so. I walk at home. The main fight, Andrew Bakewell versus Steve Ibbotson.
Right.
I think that's going to be bare knuckle boxing.
Are they not all going to be bare knuckle, are they not?
No, just whatever rules people agree to.
All right.
So you could have 2 people might say, no, I want bare knuckle MMA.
Right.
So
What if they said, I want bare knuckle, but you're allowed to use your head and it's in a scrapyard?
I just haven't got a scrapyard available, you know.
Someone's going to die doing that, falling into a fucking car exhaust or something.
Didn't you? What's he got going now? Though? Did you see he's put in a ring or something?
They have put some hay bales up.
hay bales.
Aye.
Still on concrete, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not keen on people fighting. I mean, in the street you fight on concrete. That's when people die, you know. And it's not that they've been punched and they die; they bang their head.
And also, if 2 people have a fight in the street, those 2 people are liable for that fight. There's not a third party that's organised it that's going to go to jail for manslaughter if somebody dies.
Usually you sign a waiver. Every fight I've ever had, you sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Saying basically what it's saying is if I die, it's my fault.
Right.
So I don't know if DECCA's got these waivers in place or not.
I wouldn't imagine so. He's
Because
probably
if-
watching this now, making notes, going waiver.
If,
In fact, he did say on on one of his YouTube live recently that he doesn't do contracts. Everything's done on a handshake. So I'd imagine there's no waivers.
So if there's no waiver and the dude dying, he's organised it. He's
organised it for
accessory?
financial gain. Yeah,
is he an accessory? Because it's
I
not
don't-
manslaughter by him because they could say no. But I think he could be an accessory in that.
yeah, definitely liable for something.
And then I've got James Graham. He's one of my mechanics. And,
Right.
He's called out Paul Deathwish Hartley.
Paul Deathwish Hartley.
Now, I used to train with Paul Deathwish
Right.
Hartley years ago. But James Graham doesn't like him.
Right.
So them have called each other. James, like, pulled us at a...
So can the mechanic is the mechanic a fighter or
He's
is?
MMA.
Oh right, okay,
And so is Deathwish
right.
Hartley.
That's a great name.
Aye. So
I'm already a fan. I don't even know what he looks like.
he's actually got a mohawk.
Has he?
Used to.
Yes.
A red one. He used to have a red one back in the day. And anyways, he went, will you call him out for us? So I just done what we said, didn't I?
Aye.
Paul Deathwish Hartley, James Graham doesn't like you, he wants to have a fight with. Is it on? And he replied, no problem. So they're the kind of fight you want. And then I've got Thomas Cross versus Danny Kocher.
Right.
And I think they're feuding over a bird.
Right.
So there's a
Perfect.
bird in the middle.
Does the winner get the bird or?
Different that. Danny's quite game. But Tommy Cross I've seen him on Facebook. He's out training every day. Danny's not a bad boxer. I've trained with Danny before.
Right.
But Thomas Adler is on Facebook now. He's out every day running. So I think as well, in fights, it doesn't matter, especially at the lower levels, it doesn't matter if you're good or not, you've just got to be fit.
Right.
Because usually people gas out in the first round.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happens on
I've
fights.
been to plenty of unlicensed events like that.
Do you know if you had, especially people's first 3 or 4 fights, maybe most of the first, if you just had one round, they would love it. 1 10-minute round, they would love it. But what happens is they go full belt for 2 minutes, they come back to the corner, and then they're going, oh, I've got to do it again. And that's exactly what they do. And you see people in the camp berserk the first round, and then the second round they're just dead because they know, like, shit, I'm going to have to do that again. They know what they expect then. But I think maybe if you just had one round fight, that would possibly help the beginners.
I've got a pal called Silver who I used to do music with.
Lidl.
Yeah. And
He let us kick him.
yes, he did.
This is one of the most vicious men that can fight against you in the world. And if I can take a punch or a kick, then that kind of makes me like kind of a little bit tough, right?
Stupid, I would have thought.
He had to go at the unlicensed boxing thing.
Yeah.
And he drew one fight and then he lost 6 in a row and then he got a title shot.
Aye.
And I was like, how the fuck does this work?
I'm pretty sure he fought my pal's nephew on his first fight where he got the draw. And he got told he couldn't win it.
Aye.
And he punched the kid all over and got the draw.
I can't remember the kid's name now, but
Cheatham? Was it Cheatham?
yes, Lee Cheatham.
Aye.
Aye.
I remember that.
In a Walker club.
Aye. It's funny, the first time I met him, I was like, will he kick us? No problem.
Thank you very much, Mickey. Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody.